Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making this simple, cute little teddy bear. What you're going to be needing for this project is 2 colors of acrylic yarn in white and red, or whatever colors you want to use, and a 5mm hook. We're going to be starting by making the arms. What you want to do is you're going to make a magic ring and make 6 single crochet in the magic ring. Then you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made. And for our next round, we're just going to increase in every single stitch around. So you should go from 6 stitches to 12 stitches. And for the next 6 rounds, we're just going to be single crocheting around to make the length of the arm. Once you have completed all 6 of these rounds, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch or 2 just to smoothen off the end, and then we're going to fasten off our yarn and cut it, and you're going to want to make 2 of these. You can leave a long tail on these for sewing purposes, or you can just cut it off and use scrap yarn later. After you've made both of the arms, we're going to move on to making the legs. And we're going to start the legs the exact same way by making a magic ring and making 6 single crochet in the magic ring. We're going to slip stitch back into the first single crochet that we made. Then in every stitch around we're going to increase, and then at the end of this round we should have 12 single crochets. And then for our next round, we're going to make 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase. And we're going to repeat this again, just 1 single crochet followed by an increase all the way around. And you should end up with 18 stitches after this row is done.
And now for rounds 4 through 10, we're just going to single crochet our way around. You want to make sure at the end of these rows that you have 18 stitches still around. And once you've reached the end of round 10, we're again going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches to make our end more smooth. And then you're going to want to go make another leg, but once you have finished the second one, do not cut your yarn because we're going to connect them. And now that we have our second leg done, we're just going to chain 3. And then we are going to single crochet into one of the stitches on our first leg. And then we're just going to single crochet around the leg. And when we reach the chain 3 space, we're just going to single crochet across the one side of the chain 3. So you should have 3 single crochets across the one side. And then we're going to single crochet around the second leg until we get to the other side of the chain 3. Now we're going to make 3 single crochet on the opposite side of the chain 3 that we were working before. Once you have come all the way around, you should have 48 stitches around. For the next 13 rows, that would be rows 12 to 24, we're just going to be single crocheting around. After you've completed your rounds of single crochet, our next round is going to be 10 single crochets followed by 1 decrease, and you're just going to repeat that around. At the end of this row, you should have 44 stitches. For our next round, we're going to be making 9 single crochet followed by 1 decrease, and we're going to be repeating this around, and at the end of this row you should have 40 stitches. Our next row is going to be 8 single crochets followed by 1 decrease, and we're going to repeat this around, and at the end of this row you should have 36 stitches. Our next round is going to be 7 single crochet followed by 1 decrease. We're going to repeat this around, and at the end we should have 32 stitches. For our last round on the body, we're going to be making 6 single crochet followed by 1 decrease, You're going to repeat this around and you should end up with 28 stitches around the top. Once you've finished that round, we're just going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches to smooth off our end, and then it's time to make the head. We're going to start off the head the same way by making 6 single crochet into a magic ring. After you close your magic ring, you're going to want to slip stitch into the first single crochet. And for our second round, we're going to increase in every single stitch, making our round increase to 12 stitches. For our third round, we're going to make 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and we're going to repeat that around, and you should have 18 stitches at the end of this round. And for our next round, we're going to be making 2 single crochet followed by an increase, and at the end of this you should have 24 stitches around. Our next round is going to be 3 single crochet followed by an increase, and you're going to repeat this around again, and at the end you should have 30 stitches. Our next row is going to be 4 single crochet followed by an increase, and at the end of this row you should have 36 stitches. Our next row is going to be 5 single crochet followed by an increase, and at the end of this round you should have 42 stitches. Our next round is going to be 6 single crochet followed by an increase. You're going to repeat this around again, and then you're going to have 48 stitches at the end. And for our last round of increases, we're going to make 7 single crochet followed by an increase. And we're going to repeat this around, and at the end you should have 54 stitches around. And for rounds 10 through 17, we're just going to single crochet around. And I'm just going to do this off camera, and once you finish that, you can come back here and we'll start decreasing. Now that we have finished our rounds of single crochets, for our next round, round 18, we're going to be making 7 single crochets followed by a decrease. And you're just going to repeat this around, and at the end you should have 48 stitches. And for our next round, we're going to be making 6 single crochet followed by a decrease, and that's the repeat for this round. At the end of this round, you should have 42 stitches. Our next round is going to be 5 single crochet followed by a decrease, and that's our repeat. At the end of this round, you should have 36 stitches. Our next round is going to be 4 single crochet followed by a decrease. You're going to repeat this around again, and at the end you should have 30 stitches. For the last round of our head, we're just going to decrease to make the stitches around the neck even. So we're just going to make 13 single crochet. Our 14th is going to be a decrease, and then we're going to make 13 more single crochet with our 14th being another decrease, and you should end up with 28 stitches around to match the neck. To finish off this last round, we're going to make 2 slip stitches to make it a smooth ending, and then we're going to fasten off our yarn and cut it. For the ears, we're going to start the same way by doing 6 single crochet in a magic ring. Slip stitch to join the first 2 single crochets together. Then our second round is going to be an increase in every single stitch, increasing from 6 stitches in a round to 12. Our next round, we're going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and you're just going to repeat that around, and you should have 18 stitches at the end of this round. Now for rounds 4 through 6, we're just going to single crochet around. After you've completed up to round 6, round 7 is going to be 7 single crochets followed by a decrease. And you're going to do this twice, 7 single crochet, 1 decrease, and at the end of this round you should have 16 stitches. And after round 7 is done, you're just going to make 2 slip stitches, fasten off and cut your yarn, and you're going to need to make 2 of these ears for our project. When you're cutting the yarn, leave a tail long enough to sew the ears onto the bear later. And now for the snout, we're going to make 6 single crochet into a magic ring, and we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet. And for round 2, we're going to again increase a round, increasing our stitch count from 6 to 12. And for round 3, we're going to make 1 single crochet followed by an increase and repeat that around again to have a count of 18 stitches at the end of this round. Our next row is going to be 2 single crochet followed by an increase. You're going to repeat that around, and then you're going to have 24 stitches at the end of this round. Our next round is going to be 3 single crochet followed by an increase, and that's going to be the repeat. At the end of this round, you're going to have 30 stitches. Our last round of the snout is going to be a repeat of 4 single crochet followed by an increase. At the end of this round, you should have 36 stitches going around, and you're going to slip stitch twice and fasten off. And now we have all of the pieces for our bear. So we're going to start to sew them all together. So you're going to grab your yarn needle and also whatever yarn you're using to sew it together. I'm going to use the white yarn, but I think it would be really cute if you would use a different color as well, just to make the stitches very obvious. You're also going to need your safety eyes and the nose, and we're going to be adding those to the head at this point before we stuff it. You will want to do a little bit of planning so that the eyes and everything end up in the right spot. So I'm just going to measure this by putting this note against here so I can see where I want my eyes placed. And now that I have the eyes attached to the head, we're going to go on to stuffing the head and the body and sewing them together. I like to not have them completely stuffed for the sewing together part. Before I have them completely sewed together, I'll finish stuffing it and then make the final closing stitches just to make it easier on myself. I already stuffed the body, so I'm just going to grab that, and now it's time to sew them together. You're going to want to make sure that your head is completely facing forward so you don't sew it on sideways or anything. So we're going to grab the yarn that we're going to be using to sew it on, and we're just going to tie it onto the back of the body. And then you're going to grab your yarn needle and just sew the head on. It's not very complicated, but there should be the same number of stitches on the top round of the body as there is on the bottom round of the head. So as long as you do a stitch in every stitch aligning them, then it should turn out even. And I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this off camera because it's pretty bulky to do while you're filming. So I'll get mine sewed on and I'll be right back. Alright, so now it's time to be attaching the snout. So you can already put the nose on, and if you would like, you can make a little mouth out of black yarn. I am not going to be putting a mouth on it because I think it looks pretty cute the way it is. I'm just gonna go struggle with this safety nose off camera real quick. And now it's attached. So we're just going to place it sort of where we want it on the face, and then we're going to grab our white yarn and sew it on. And now we're going to be sewing the ears on. So we're just going to use the long tail that we left on them and just kind of measure where we want them, and then we will just sew them on. And when you are sewing on the ears and you stick the needle through the ear, just make sure that you get it through both sides of the ear, just to make sure that it's nice and firmly attached. And once you get to the last stitch, you just want to pull it tight real quick before you tie it off. And then make sure that you just stick your needle through the back of the head just to hide the end of the yarn. And once you have both ears attached, it's time to head on to the little arms. So I'm just going to be attaching them right here, sticking up kind of like this, like it wants to give a hug or something. I just think it's pretty cute, so, you know, why not? So I'm just going to stick the end through this part of the arm just to make it less obvious after it's sewed on. And then you're just going to find the placement where you want, and again, tie on the yarn you're going to be using and just sew it on because, well, unless you left a long tail and you can just use that, which I was not smart enough to do apparently, so I'm gonna have to just use some scrap yarn here. And once you have the arm sewed on almost completely, you can go ahead and stuff it with some more of that polyester stuffing. And after you have both arms attached, the only thing left we have to do is make the ribbon. So we're just going to grab our red yarn and we are going to chain 70. And we're just going to kind of make the little ends on the end the same length so that it looks more neat. And then just tie a ribbon around his neck and you're good to go. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this cute little project that we made, and don't forget to subscribe, and if you plan on making this, please hit the like button or leave a comment below.